And corruption is to be found in very many places. Corruption is not only to be found in the political arena. Corruption is found even in churches today. You know, a friend of mine with whom we don't agree on many things, but we agreed on this one, once told me, the church has become so mechanical, so structured in form, that there is no space for Christ and God. And that I thought was very deep. We have structured our worship services in such a way that God is only mentioned occasionally, that God is only worshipped occasionally. And I normally sometimes ask myself, how was Christ worshiping? Christ was an itinerant preacher who engaged in dialogue on a daily basis. Christ would come and find a few people and engage them in a discourse on matters of the heaven. When he talks about the parables of the unleavened bread, when he talks about the parable of the sower, when he talks about the parables of the wheat and the tares, Christ is an itinerant preacher. He did not have a title. Today we are hankering after titles. There is no shortage of apostles and bishops in this part of the world. Woe unto them on the day of judgment. They'll be told, we know you not. So the question is, we who are seated here, we who are Kenyans, we who know what is good and right, are we the salt of the earth, or we are the light of the earth? This is the question that we must ask. Those of you who are familiar with the World War II will remember this famous report, which I do not render in the manner in which it was rendered, but I render it in this manner without losing its substance. The famous statement attributed to Martin Niemöller. When they came for the Jews, I said nothing because I was not a Jew. When they came for the communists, I said nothing because I was not a communist. When they came from the trade unionists, I said nothing because I was not a trade unionist. When they came for me, there was nobody to say anything. The moral of Martin Niemöller's statement is, and when there is danger, shout against it. And we put it so very well in Kiswahili, mwenzako akinyolewa kichwa chako kitie maji. Because there is a sense in which you could be the next. Kumbukeni mtego wa panya uingia waliomo na wasio kwema. Na pia tukumbuke kilichompata ngwena na kiboko ni vivyo. So let us never imagine for one moment that we are safe. Throughout the ages, we have seen good men fight corruption. It is not a battle that started yesterday. We have told ourselves that it all started in heaven. And then we descended to the Garden of Eden and we saw the exploits of Lucifer. Then we went to Sodom and Gomorrah and we saw the contention between Abraham and God. And it did not stop there. We saw Moses grappling with Jannes, Jambres, and Dathan. And it did not stop there. Our own Christ is tempted, being told, if you only agree to worship me, the entire world will be yours. And Christ says, no, the only one to be worshipped. And it did not stop there. Even our own Christ was betrayed on the basis of 30 pieces of silver. But there are good men throughout the ages who have demonstrated by word and deed that when the chips are down, they are prepared to pay the ultimate price. That is how I understood the story recorded in the book of Daniel, the story of 4 young men, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, known to us much more famously as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When they were performing in the household of Nebuchadnezzar, they were given different names. They were told to worship an idol made 6 cubits wide, 6 cubits long. And they were told, you've got to worship it, and they refused. And a fire was lit 7 times over. And the Bible records that those who threw them into the fire were consumed immediately. But when they went in there, they said, the God that we worship will rescue us. But even if he does not, We shall not bow unto you. And within a few minutes we are told that there was a fourth man in the fire. And Nebuchadnezzar said, but I threw in 3 men, but I now see 4, and the 4th one is like a son of the gods. We must always create an environment where the 4th man comes like a son of the gods.